Hello everyone, welcome back to your very own YouTube channel, Dr. Nikita's Radsynapse, and this is M3 with N3, that is Morning Motivation and Mnemonic. So let's dive into our morning motivation with this book, which is very powerful and mind-changing. So here the author talks about failures and the problems that we face in life. So it says, you are never given a problem that you cannot handle. So you are given a problem, only a problem which you can handle. God knows what problem you can handle, and accordingly you are given that problem. Every problem that comes in front of you is to make you realize the abilities you have, how much more you can bring out of yourself, how much more skill, talent, joy that you can bring forth. Problems make our mind, our intelligence function. When do we really need intelligence? When there is a problem. If there were no problems, we could be like cows. Cows have no problems. They eat the grass and drink water and sleep. Like that, if your life is so smooth, without anything challenging you, you will just eat and sleep and become duller and duller. You'll become dull day by day. The divine has given you such a brain to use to be alert, and every problem is there to make use of this brain. So basically, we are given the problems so that we can use our brains, our intelligence surfaces, and we realize how much more we are capable of. But instead, when we are faced with a problem, we do the reverse. Either we don't use this brain and get into more complications, or we use our brain to get more complications rather than solving them. If we have a problem, instead of looking at the solution, we keep looking how big the problem can be or what worse can happen. So like when we are faced with a problem, we think of how worse it can become. For example, let me give you an example that all of us must be facing when we are, appearing for the grand test or we are revising. So whenever we are giving a grand test, let's say our score is stagnant at around 500. So rather than focusing on the solution that how can I improve on the scores, we rather think अभी 500 है, next time 400 होगा, फिर 300 होगा. So rather we use our brains to complicate our problems rather than working on the solutions. So that is what we do the reverse. So the author says, do not return this brain back to God unused. So I'll sing this one line of one of my favorite songs which says, कुछ ऐसा करके दिखा खुद खुश हो जाए खुदा आशाएं खिले दिल की उम्मीदें हंसे दिल की अब मुश्किल नहीं कुछ भी नहीं कुछ भी. So basically कुछ ऐसा करके दिखा खुद खुश हो जाए खुदा, so that even the power who has gifted you this life is happy, is proud that he gave you this gift of life. So do something which makes him proud. So sorry for that, actually I am not a singer, I am just a bathroom singer, but I just poured my heart out, right? So the next thing the author says is, what do you consider failure? Often what you consider as failure a little later on turns out to be success. For example, as a child, you wanted to be a truck driver, right? We see the bus drivers, we see the truck drivers. As a child, as innocent child, we actually don't know and we think that, oh, I want to be this truck driver. When you grew up, you were forced to become a doctor, and then you realized this was a good choice. Look back and see the situations that appear to be failures were due to a short-sighted vision. So what we see the situations as failures, when we see the situations as failures, remember we are being short-sighted. Actually, these failures are meant to help us grow. In the long run, every failure has contributed to your growth or made you stronger and more centered. I am sure all of you are in that flashback and thinking of the situations where you thought that this was a failure, this was a setback, but later in the present you always think that good that it happened that way, right? So let me know in the comments if you have faced one of these situations and if you are grateful today for having faced that setback or so-called failure. So every failure has contributed in a very positive manner somewhere deep inside you. It's very interesting. You have to look at the situation through a different eye, right? So basically remember that whatever problems you are faced with, whatever problems you are gifted with, I would call it a gift because it helps us grow, is what you are able to handle. And every problem, every failure, every setback helps you grow, unleash your hidden potential. And yes, कुछ ऐसा करके दिखा, खुद खुश हो जाए खुदा. Right? So that was the motivation part. Diving into the mnemonic time now. So today's mnemonic is again on hematology, the medicine part of it. So the question is, all trans retinoic acid, that is ATRA, is used in treatment of which AML subtype? M3, M4, M5 or M6? So ATRA, when we say all trans retinoic acid, ATRA is 3. ATRA is 3, right? TRA is TRI, remember 3. So it is used in AML subtype M3. Very, very important question. Next time they can ask you, instead of M3, they can ask you what is it? Is it erythroleukemic? Is it a megakaryocytic? What is it basically? So remember, M3 is acute promyelocytic. It is promyelocytic leukemia, promyelocytic. So it is APML, that is where we use ATRA. ATRA is 3. So remember, it's used in AML subtype 3. So that's all for today in M3 with N3. I'll see you in my next one. Till then, goodbye, take care, keep studying, keep revising and keep winning.